whatever. Maybe it'll go back behind the sun. All right, so we're going to be talking a little bit about Once Upon a Time in Shropshire, this Jerskin Fendrix album, and I think it's a lot about sort of, I don't know. The way I listen to it is that right now we're in a weird time where artificial intelligence is sort of threatening humanity. And when I listen to it, I actually think about this a lot. I don't know if it's actually his intention, so I think about it as Jerskin fighting computers. In the first two tracks on this album, Beth's Farm as well as Princess, have a lot of these sort of breathless voices, like very human-ish sounding voices, but they have no breath. And I think Jerskin is actually thinking about this because when he was doing the press tour for Poor Things, he had this video, which I'll play quickly, talking about how breath and its lack can sort of make a listener feel they're in a sort of an uncanny place listening to these sounds. And he's talking about like a pipe organ bending and how that can make you feel uncomfortable, or like a voice not bending and how that can sort of make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, wind is a really interesting thing, I think, as well, thinking about things to do with life and what that could mean or how that could be manipulated. Wind is great because it involves breath, and breath and life are obviously very connected as a symbol and as a feeling. One idea I played with was there's a way in which you can categorize wind instruments where you have wind that comes from a person, so breath, like a flute or a trumpet is coming out of you, and you have wind instruments where the breath is mechanically made. It's this invention. So pipe organs, bagpipes, accordions, you're basically making a machine breathe on your behalf. And what you get with wind instruments that come from a body is you get a lot of bending, and it sounds very normal. When you get like a saxophone bending, that's kind of fine because we're used to human voices bending all the time. It's how we speak. It's how you recognize someone as a person rather than a machine. But you don't usually get that with mechanical wind instruments, pipe organs, accordions. They're usually a very flat pitch. So we spend a lot of time adding these processes to mechanical wind to make them kind of bend and talk. And the result was something actually quite unnerving and quite uncanny.
And so in this case, this album starts with these unnatural sounds. So you have the synthetic, breathless voice of Beth's Farm, and then it ends with Last Night in Shropshire, which is all these natural sounds. So it's Jerskin's voice, and it's a piano, and then it ends with him and I assume his friends like singing at a piano. They sing the dubstep in my trousers, or yeah, I think it is trousers, and then just the actual natural sounds of Shropshire. So I don't know if this is actually his intention with the album, if he's thinking about AI coming for human creativity, but that's when I listen to it, that's what I think about. And I think Beth's Farm is a good example of this. You have the natural sounds of the voice and the strings and the bells, and you have the synthetic sounds of the breathless voices, which is the melody that sort of lays the foundation for the song. And I'll play that quickly. In the first minute and 25 seconds is this sort of unnatural, uncanny bum bum ba bit. So I'll play that, and then you have the voice, Jerskin's voice, which is sort of trying to feel out how he can sing with this thing.
Fear not the heat of the sun. I've felt it since we moved up here in 2001.
And you get that for the first minute and 25, and then you get the play Kanye part, and the play Mulan part, and you get the next natural sound that joins Jerskin, and it sort of seems to give Jerskin some confidence. So I'll play that quickly and then talk a little bit about it.
Play Kanye, play Rosie, play Mulan.
Right, so the voice seems to have gained some confidence here when the other natural sound comes in, and it's not just him and these breathless voices. But then, right after that moment, that little melody, remember the Play Mulan melody, because it's going to come back up, you get this, the breathless voices are sort of given the dance circle, and they go in there and like, okay, the song's yours, what are you guys going to do with the song? You started the song, can you do anything interesting besides your little melody? And the breathless voices give us this. Right, their dancing is not so good, right? It's not as interesting as what the natural sounds and them were doing together. Like what they were doing together was interesting, and when it's opened up to just the breathless voices, it's not so interesting. To me, it's a little bit boring, and hopefully Jerskin doesn't really love that part of the song, and I hurt his feelings, but it's not my favorite part. And then you get like a mimicked melody, which is the I'll Be There, right? So the Play Kanye, Play Mulan part is the I'll Be There melody sort of mimics that, and instead of opening up to the breathless voices, this time we're going to open up to the voice and the strings, right? So the dance circle's open. What are the voice and the strings going to do with the song now that it's all theirs? Also, this is the first time that the breathless voices haven't been singing on the song, so let's listen to it. It's probably my favorite part, and it leads into like my favorite chorus, but I'll play it quickly.
I'll call you when the bus is pulling. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. I turn out the light, I sleep in your arms, and everyone dreams our bed's full. And this world is quiet, and this soul is calm, and nobody dares our bed's full. Yeah.
Right? And it's the first time you don't hear these breathless sounds when the I'll be there part. And it's nice. And it leads into the sort of the emotional climax of the song, the most interesting part of the song. But then you get this weird thing where after that chorus ends, our strings are sort of playing around with the song, and they're playing around maybe around these breathless voices. But much like No One Dies on Beth's Farm, the breathless voices don't die. They're going to go forever. And it's sort of the thing that maybe makes them not beautiful is the fact that they go forever. And there's a lot of this on this album, I think. I think like the fact that human life is, you can die, you're going to die at some point, is partially what makes it beautiful. But anyway, so the strings play around, and then the breathless voices don't die. And if you, in theory, listen to the song forever, the rest of your life, like these breathless voices don't die except for that little bit, the I'll be there bit. But yeah, I'll play that quickly. And so, yeah, I think he's thinking about AI, or maybe he's not. It's just the frame of mind that I come to it with because I'm maybe a little bit worried about human creativity and what artificial intelligence will do, and like, are people just going to watch AI generated content and, you know, slip into the mud? I don't know. Anyways, so I think it's an interesting thing to think about, and that's the frame that I think about this song in specifically, and also this album in generally. And the other song that has this is the fight between synthetic and natural voices is Princess. And Princess is a song, I think, from the point of view of a character. Let's just say it's Princess. And Princess, it's like a song about young lust. And the first minute-ish is just the voice and the piano. So I'll play a little bit of that. Hopefully you've listened to the song so that you know what I'm talking about. But I'll play a little bit of it.
Meet me in the middle of our garden. There's blossom on your Range Rover and a Lambo in the orchids.
And Princess has the song. It's just piano, princess, some drums for most of the song. And then you get this first moment of conflict, right? If it's a fight for the song, like I'm saying, where's the conflict? And we get this first moment with the, hey, I think I got it part. And what we're listening for, what you're listening for, is this think. He has a voice crack on think, a bend in his voice on think, right? And then as soon as that voice bends, it's like the synthetic sounds have been waiting. So you're listening for like a weird little synthetic voice, sort of singing like this O sound. So listen for the bend and listen for the O. I'll play it quickly.
Hey, I think I got it. Love breathes love like fire breathes fire.
It's actually on I, sorry. So the bend is on I, and then you hear like the escalating synthetic voice there. So I'll play it one more time.
Hey, I think I got it. Love breathes love like fire breathes fire.
You hear it, right? So there's a little bit of threat from the synthetic voices, our breathless voices. And then you move into the second moment of conflict, which is to let every worshiper lay eyes on my immortal body, which is interesting because there's like this theme of deathlessness, and as soon as the theme of deathlessness comes up, like on Beth's Farm, no one dies, and the breathless voice doesn't die. And then as soon as the theme of immortality comes up, the synthetic voices are like, oh shit, this is our turn to take over the song. So I'll play that quickly.
Let every worshiper lay eyes on my immortal body. I am immortal now. No word can pierce my skin.
It's almost like they figured out how to add a little bit of breath to make me as a listener feel less uncomfortable, which is, you know, it's becoming more human. It maybe makes me uncomfortable, even more so because it's becoming more human, and I know it's like the synthetic sound. But then it had been natural sounds up until that point, and now for the next 2 minutes, it's like a fight over the song And it's like a beautiful fight. There's a lot of conflict and it sounds great, but there's a fight over the song. And then you get this little bit, which I call the driving up to the party pump fake, where he sings Cold Like the Moon and holds this note. And usually when in Jerskin's songs, it's just one voice. He doesn't often do backing vocals. Not often, I mean sometimes. But this Cold Like the Moon carries out, right? And if the synthetic voices are thinking it's going to continue carrying out, he adds like a second vocal track and he says driving to the party, as if to like try to pump fake him out and, not let him know which way it's going. So I'll play that quickly. I love this part of the song because then it leads in sort of to the climax of the whole song.
Crisp like the sun, cold like the moon, driving to the party.
It's so cool because then the moon is still going on, but what that leads to is sort of our the young lust thing happens, right? This princess and whoever princess is with sleeps together, and which you might think would be the climax of the song, but it's not actually the climax of the song. This is just where our backing vocals come in, and the Darlin', I Know What Is Happening is what we're listening for. So listen closely for the backing vocals, because the backing vocals are going to sort of push our synthetic, breathless voices out of the song. And this is about a 30-second bit, so you're going to be listening to it. So listen closely for the push out of the song, and then just this awesome, Jerskin sings really high, and the main vocal like strains. He's like, it's trying so hard to sing the perfect note. It's beautiful.
My trust is a mountain, your hands about to flatten. Darling, I know what is happening, know what's about to happen. Like the sun breaks the horizon, oh my love can't hold it in. Will you wait until the skylarks sing? Hold my hand and watch the day roll in. I don't wanna let this evening end. I don't wanna hear the big bell ring.
The other really cool thing about this is like the lusty part of the build isn't the end. Like the emotional climax of the song is princess not wanting whoever she's with to leave. It's really sad and heartbreaking, and stay until the sun comes out, or like the larks sing. Yeah, it's beautiful. And then we get the synthetic voices never join us again, and we have this very cool, beautiful instrumental break, or instrumental ending. I don't know if it's a break, and that's what leads us to the end of the song. And there are some synthetic sounds. There's like this sort of spacey organ going on, but the synthetic voices themselves seem to have been pushed out. And yeah, I'm gonna let that play out, and that'll be the ending. But I think this album is a lot about human creativity, and maybe it's not. It's also obviously a lot about like loss. I think the last song is all about loss, and then yeah, I don't know. It's beautiful. It's a really good album. I think it's under-listened to, but I think in some ways it's also a little bit difficult or tough. But yeah, I'm gonna let that instrumental break lead us out because I love it so much.